Hey guys, all right, where do I begin? Well, that's a good one. Where do I begin? So, um, well, I'm going to talk about uh, my symptoms and what led to me going to the emergency room and having my glioma tumor, cancer tumor, removed through a craniotomy right there. You can kind of see that. So, first of all, this is an update for everyone, to my family, my friends, to my YouTube subscribers that are out there. Thanks for all the years of subscribing and watching my videos there. I got all those both hands. So thank you guys for that. And I'm just posting these and recording these just because it's my life experience, and I want to take you guys along through the journey and what you learn when you were diagnosed with a terminal cancer. Glioma, Glioma. Check it out. So, getting started with the symptoms. Oh, one thing, I never thought I needed a cuddle bear, but it's been my best friend throughout this whole thing. So, if you're in this situation, get yourself a cuddle bear. First of all, it really helps. So, I would say about a year ago, I started definitely seeing symptoms, but I was ignoring them. I thought possibly they were just, stress from life. My dad died last year, the end of 2022, and that was rough. And just my mom had passed before that, so those were a couple of rough years. And then just everyday work life. Me and my fiance, who I asked to marry me in June, my then girlfriend, got down on my knee, asked her to marry me because she's incredible, and she said yes. So she became my fiance. So, yeah. But we've been together for 5 years, and so anyway, it was a stressful year. We were trying to get my dad's house all packed up and get my stuff out of there, because during the pandemic he let me put a bunch of my personal belongings. I had a shipping container on the side of his house in the backyard behind the gates, and a bunch of stuff in the garage. So we had to move that out quickly and find storage and move a whole bunch of stuff around and move stuff to our property and such and such. It was a lot. So we had a lot going on this year. So I thought these symptoms were stress. It started, I believe, with it was like this feeling of anxiety that would come out, whooshing across from my chest into my head, and then I would feel like, whoa, I'm a little dizzy. And it would happen maybe once every 3 weeks, or a month, or 2 months, and then it started to increase. Instead of it would increase to like once every I'm trying to think here, Sorry they took part of my bringing out. I guess I have a memory of a goldfish now. Forgot what flakes I just ate. So, yeah, then it started like maybe to once a week. And I was like, oh, that's odd. I mean, I don't think I've ever had panic attacks in my life. So I don't get panic attacks. I can handle anything, right? I'm a rough, tough construction dude. Can outwork anyone. 16-hour days, 7-day weeks, no problem. And then, in addition to the panic attacks, I would get this, I would smell this one smell. And it was just so strong. I was like, and I would ask my now fiance, babe, do you smell that? She'd be like, what? I don't smell anything. I'm like, you don't smell that? Come on. It'd be like opening up a can of some sort of a, I defined it as like, it wasn't anything that I've ever dealt with in construction, like as a chemical, nothing that you would ever use in a garden, which I've used every sort of chemical there is in construction, industrial, automotive. So I've smelled hundreds, if not thousands, of different smells of chemicals. But what I explained it to my fiance, which it was like, I was like, it'd be like if you went to like the emergency room and you went in there and you would smell like some sort of medical treatment, something or other like that. I was like, that's what it smells like. So that was in addition to the chest pain. It started to turn into a chest pain. And then the overwhelming feeling of like feeling dizzy. And I thought it was anxiety. And then it started as the smell. And it would happen like maybe once every couple of weeks. And then it progressed to once every week along with the chest pain. It would come with the chest pain, the anxiety, I would smell, and then after a month and a half, I would start tasting it. I would taste the smell. I'm like, whoa, that's weird. Now I'm tasting the smell. And then, during this time, I also, I was always fatigued. So, you get 8 hours sleep, 9 hours sleep, you're trying to be healthy and get the right appropriate amount of hours of sleep just to be healthy. But I would wake up and I'd be like, oof, I'm still tired. And that would go on for months. So, along with the chest pain, the feeling like I'm just like washed over, like my whole entire body of like, you would just feel it. And then the smell, the taste, the fatigue, and then my left arm started to like tingle with that. I was like, okay. All along these months, this was like for the last like 9 months. But looking back, I think I was probably feeling something for over a year and a half. So, but for the last 9 months, I was really getting these. Then everything started to happen even more. These panic attacks, the smell, the taste, it would be like a couple times a week. And then it progressed into the final stage of, it happened 3 times in one day, these panic attacks, the smell, the taste, the tingle. And on that day, it was maybe October, I think 5th, October 5th. It was like It was a Friday, the first week of October in 2023 of this year. It happened 3 times in one day. And I was like, whoa, that never happened. And then I went to type in log into my computer. And I tried to log into my laptop 6 times. And each time I typed in the password wrong. I couldn't get it right. And I've typed in the same password into my computer, for years and years and years, just like any of us. We all have a password for our laptops, our phone, such and such. So I thought that was odd. Then I thought, okay, I need to maybe go see a doctor and have this checked out. So I was looking for a primary care physician, found one, and I dialed their phone number 3 times over. And each time I got doo-doo-doo, we're sorry, the number you've reached cannot be, it's wrong or whatever. And then I asked my fiance, it's like, did we pay our bills? She was like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I better retype it in again. And then I did it really, really, really slow that time. And I can't remember if I got through anyway. But during that, I finally told my fiance at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I was like, babe, I said, something is wrong. I explained to her what was happening, and I had 3 panic attacks and all the symptoms in one day. And I couldn't type in my password into my laptop. I couldn't dial a phone number. I was like, I have to go to the emergency room, babe. Can you please take me? And that was at 5:15. So we packed up, went there. Now, before I go too far, I want to say, these symptoms, I just put them off as stress, life stress. So if you're going through something like this and you're feeling not right, don't wait. Don't put them off. Don't think that it could be just stress, Because had I gone and noticed these sooner, the tumor wouldn't have been larger than a golf ball and smaller than a baseball, somewhere in between there. I might have caught it sooner. So, in the morning we found out that we were pregnant that day. In the evening, I went to the emergency room. They did an EKG. The doctor heard my symptoms and he said, let's send you to do an MRI. Hour and a half later after that, he came in and said, Mr. Fuller, your MRI came back and you have a sizable mass in your brain, and it's a tumor, and it's most likely cancer. And they did a lab result, and the results came back as glioma, an uncurable terminal cancer disease. So, and then I look back, I'm like, how did this happen? I never smoked a cigarette in my life. I always was working out, being healthy, super active with my job. Drank a little bit, just if I had a 6-pack, it could last me a week. If I had a bottle of rum, it would last me 6 months to a year. You'd have a hard day doing construction, like, jackhammering a driveway and taking all of the concrete out, or demoing out a kitchen or a deck or whatever, so you'd be like, oh, I really could use a beer tonight. So it's pretty casual. So I look back and, is it all these chemicals? Is it pesticides? What could it be? And nobody knows how it can happen. So I hope that, um, people in the future, more studies can be done, and they can figure out how you actually get brain cancer. You know, I did have this really bad sinus infection on my right side. This one. On this side, my nose was stuffy for like a year, and finally I went to Aspen Dental, and they did one of those like scans that go across your face this way. It came back that I had this really bad sinus infection inside of here, and this tooth back here, that was one of those molars, the membrane had been like broken into, and that probably sinus infection was for like 1.5, maybe 2 years, I bet, because my nose was always stuffy. They they found the sinus infection and put me on medication, so then that way they could actually work on the molar in the back. Yeah, but I had that. So anyway, it's kind of hard to figure out how I could get that. I would even, like, for years I was like working out an hour and a half in the morning, an hour and a half in the evening on weights. I was taking $300 a month in supplements, from protein powders to creatines to all the vitamins, and some other powders, and then health bars, and eating like egg white omelets in the morning. So yeah, it's always healthy and active. But then behind this eye here in my brain, next to the retina, the I don't know what's that retina that attaches your eyeball to your brain. The tumor was right up against that and back. So they went. Here's the scar. Oh, by the way, they took the staples out a couple of days ago, so the scar comes all the way around here. And they pulled this flap forward, cut my skull open, removed the tumor, put the skull plate piece back in, and then screwed it in with some corner gussets and screws and everything. So, and they just took the staples out a couple days ago. I've been home for now a week from the hospital, which I was in for 3 weeks. So it's been 1 month now, and yeah. So that's kind of the symptoms portion of it. It's like, so. Moral of the story here is I want people to like be aware of your signals that your body could be sending you for anything, and don't take them for granted that it's just some sort of it's stress, and I'm rough, I'm tough, so be more attuned to your body, and hopefully you will rush to the emergency room. Don't feel like, oh, I don't want to go to the emergency room. You know how much that's going to cost? You know how long I'm going to be there? I'm going to be there for like hours and hours and hours. That's exactly what I was thinking. So my fiance, she's always like, oh, we should go to the emergency room. I'm like, nope, not me. I'm fine. Don't need to go. You know how much money that'll cost? You know how long it'll take? I should have listened. So, if you feel that way, don't ignore the symptoms. That's basically what I'm trying to say in this video here, is don't ignore the symptoms, because it really could change your chances, possibly, and it could save your life. So, that's basically the moral of the story. So, how do I sign off now? Um, oh, so it is glioma. It's a brain cancer. It is terminal. If I don't do the chemo and the radiation treatments, they give me months to live. If I do the chemo and the radiation, the best they can say is about 14 to 18 months. So it's quite the it's quite the, what do I say? Of course, it's life-changing, but it's quite the mind blown to know when you're faced with that reality. So my goal is just to like leave everyone with like some little knowledge and help here from my experience to let you know that, first of all, tell your loved ones that you love them more than anything in the whole world, that you'll jump in front of that bullet, you'd die for them. And if you ever said anything hurtful in an argument, apologize. Let them know it was said out of pain. And then just be love to them. So when you're gone, they will remember you as the love you gave them. Alright guys, well, that's it for this one. It was basically about my symptoms and how I got here. I'll post some other ones when I can. And hopefully these are educational, my life experiences, and it will help you guys here on this earth. All right. I'm signing out. Peace. Love you guys. And thanks for your time.